We are here at the resident print shop of North Platte Baptist Church. I'm just kidding, we're at Noah's Ark Daycare, but I'm here with Christy Smith. She discovered a great way of saving us tons of money. Every Vacation Bible School, the Vacation Bible Campus we call it, that we do, we have t-shirts that we give all of the kids with the theme of the week on it. Now, when we first started doing this, we usually have between 80 to 120 kids every year. And so every year it cost us to get about 130, 140 with workers of these printed. It costs us about $1,500 on average. That's with the shirt, and that's with sending it, or a company printing it and sending it back to us. This year, Christy is saving us tons of money. She's doing it herself, saving us, and I think we spent $400 on just the shirts. And then we'll go over the prices to screen print things yourself, but it's like basically what, maybe $100, if that. So we basically cut it in half. And just by doing the work yourself and learning a few little things here and there, which is what Christy's here to tell us, because I don't really know anything about what she's doing. So Christy, if you kind of want to give us an idea of what it would take just to get something like this started.
Okay, so the first thing you'll need is a screen printing screen, which mine already has my picture on it, but it's just clear mesh. And then you can do it a couple different ways. You can do what this is called, which is photo emulsion, or you can do with vinyl, cut it out on a Cricut and stick it on. That one you're only gonna get about 15 screen prints before you have to change the vinyl, so it's a little bit more time consuming. It is a little bit easier as far as for beginners, but photo emulsion is pretty easy. You get a kit from Hobby Lobby, Amazon. I think you can even go to like Speedball, which is the company that makes all the inks, and order the photo emulsion kit, which is just a mixture that you have to mix together. Then you put it on here, you make sure you cover it completely, it's all green, and then you put it in a dark cupboard for at least 24 hours so that it completely dries. Once it's dry, it is photosensitive, so as soon as you pull it out of that cupboard, you're gonna wanna get your picture put on it and put the light on it so that it burns the image in. So
is that, how do you just print the picture on a transparent
print it on
paper,
a transparency, and then you have to put this screen about 18 inches away from your light. So I have a setup over here. It's kind of janky, but you just put the light. I put mine to where I don't have to hold the light. You can hold the light because it's only 8 minutes, but that way it keeps it steady. Once it's done burning, all you do is you take that screen print, the transparency off, and you go to a sink, and with cold water you rinse it out, and it leaves you this nice little blank space that the ink will go through.
Wow, very cool.
As far as your shirt prep, you just get shirts. We get them online because of the quantity. Hobby Lobby does sell blank shirts. They're a little more pricey if you get them from Hobby Lobby. But the first thing is you want to wash them. Wash and dry them because it gets rid of all the chemicals that are on there to help the screen ink.
Have you found a certain type of shirt to work better than others?
Pure cotton blends work best. We did the bags for the parade last year. We tried to screen print on nylon. Mm-hmm. That was a mess because you have to get a special screen printing ink that is very hard to work with. So it is possible to do on nylon, just not very conducive.
And what we normally do for our camp is we have the really cheap, this is the cheapest shirt that you can get. I think we ended up paying like $290 something, I think, for this right now, and it's usually cheaper than that, but 100% cotton, heavyweight, uncomfortable as all get out, but it's just for the kids and they don't care. Whereas over here, we have the nicer shirts, which we'll look at in a little bit, but those are, well, I think 60% polyester, 40% cotton or something like that mix, so those are a lot more comfortable. And then, you want to talk about these a little bit?
Yes, so the shirt forms, you have to put in something between the shirt because the ink will go through this first layer. It does go onto the back. So if you're wanting to do it the cheapest way possible, you can use a regular piece of paper, either printer paper, construction paper, whatever you have. Otherwise, Hobby Lobby sells these nice t-shirt forms, as you can see, for $1.99. These are not one-time use. You may think, oh, they're cardboard, why would I pay $2 for that? I've had some for 2 years that I keep reusing over and over again, so as long as you take care of them. I don't have any of them. You'll have like the imprint, as you can see, some of the imprints from before, but they're perfectly usable. So you can get these, just slip it in the shirts, and then you want a flat surface. I use the freezer any place. As far as where you're going to place the screen, you just have to decide what you want. So for these round of shirts, I lined it up at the top of the collar, and then I made sure that it was centered on the shirt like that. That way I know I'm putting them in the same spot on all of the shirts I'm doing. And then you just lay it down. Now the ink comes in one of these little bottles. I used to spoon out every time. That was a little bit time consuming, so I just got little syrup bottles from Walmart, 98 cents for a 2-pack. And they're really easy to store this way as well, because you just put the cap back on. But you just put the ink on. It's always better to have a little bit too much than not enough. So it may look like I'm putting a lot on here to begin with.
How many shirts can you do with just one of those
with
jars?
With one of these, I'm going to say you could probably do 250 to 300 shirts. Because I bought 2 to do our shirts because I wasn't sure, and these were the last 2 bottles they have, and I've only gone through about half of one. So then you'll take your little squeegee, again, comes in that kit I was talking about, or you can buy it separately, just any rubber squeegee. Just make sure that this is pressed down firmly, and then you just scrape the ink across. Now if you see I missed a little bit because I didn't have quite enough ink, I'll just turn my spatula around, wipe it back, and then because I'm a perfectionist, do it one more time just so there's no globs. And then, I forgot to open this, but I don't waste any of this ink. So I'll just scrape it right back into this bottle, and I'll have it for use later. If I need to put it back in the squeegee bottle, I'll just store. And then you just lift it off, and you have your print.
Wow, that's pretty satisfying to watch.
Yes, it's very satisfying when they come out nice. And then you just want to let them dry. I, again, like to let them dry overnight. These ones might not dry quite that long, but it normally takes about 4 hours for them to completely dry.
Okay, and then once that's done, what is the last thing that you have to do? Do you have to wash them? Do you have to?
No, the last thing you need to do is heat set them. It kind of sets the ink, and then you can wash it as many times as you need to without it running off, because you can kind of get it off if you make a mistake. Not yellow on black doesn't work. But to heat set them, all you need is an iron and an ironing board and a towel. So again, I started with doing vinyl shirts first, so I have a Cricut heat press. You don't need that. You can use just a regular old iron and a soft towel that you can lay over your image. Now this one does have a soft side and then a non-soft side. If you put this side down, that's probably going to leave an imprint in the ink. But if you use a soft towel, it won't do that. So then you just either, again, you can use an iron and just go over it for about 60 to 90 seconds, or the Cricut press, I just set it and forget it, because then it will beep at me when it's done. So if you have that, it's great. It's a great resource.
So save tons of money, and the biggest expense really is just getting started.
Yes, and once you have all your stuff, I've had my screens for 2 years. You just, again, with the kit that gives you the photo emulsion kit, has a remover, so you just wash it off and your screen will be good to use again for another.
So you printed about, are we like 130?
Yeah, 122 I think is what we have.
Okay, how long, if somebody was just gonna say, I wanna just do this and get it done nonstop, I mean, maybe 8 hours a day.
Yeah, if you do, it would take 2 days. Okay. Because the longest time would be from screen printing to letting it set and dry and then heat setting it. But I did 66 in about 2 hours yesterday, so.
Is there any advice for people that are just getting started, since you've done this a lot?
Don't be a perfectionist right off the bat. That comes with practice. And especially if you're using the vinyl method as opposed to the photo emulsion. The photo emulsion is pretty, there's not really much you can goof up on. Right. But yeah, just don't be a perfectionist. Take time to kind of learn how the screen works, where, setting it, how your ink works, because it is a little bit of a different medium, but practice. Because I feel like this is about the fifth or sixth time I've done it, and it's gone a lot smoother this time.
And this is good for one color, right? I mean, you can't.
You can do, it is possible to do more than one color. I have not got to that point yet.
Yeah. We don't normally do that just because it's so much more expensive
Right, it's
when
more
we send it
expensive,
out.
and it's
but-
more, I did do actually, that's a lie, the college logo. The one year I did the college bags, that was 2 colors. So that, I just let it set, dry completely, heat set the first color, and then did the second color over it.
Okay.
So it is possible, but it'll take more time and more maneuvering, but
Okay.
it is possible.
So there you have it. If you want to save tons of money, do it yourself. I would encourage everybody. Thankfully, Christy here has done all the research, and she said how she got started. You just researched it, right?
Yeah.
Watch videos online.
I heard of people doing it, and I watched a video on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I think I can do that. I have a Cricut machine. I can do this.
I know that growing up, a lot of times that we tried different things like the little heat or like the iron-on stuff, and that stuff always, and that's one of the reasons. Like
It's good for one
Yeah,
wear, maybe.
yeah. Whereas this is you're getting the actual same product as you would get if you sent it out, and you get to do it in-house, spend half as much money, and get a great product. So goes with the bus ministry. You can save tons of money if you're willing to get your hands a little bit dirty sometime, research it, do it for yourself.